Hi guys, welcome back. We're here to continue Flawless by Elsie Silver, and I'm super stoked, of course, to see where this story goes. We left off on page 144 at the top. The way he's watching my mouth is almost filthy, like I can read every thought flashing through his mind without even trying. My lips pop open ever so slightly at the thought of him closing the distance, gripping my head and pressing his lips to mine, giving me a taste of what I've fantasized about. He's leaned close when his gentle fingers cup the bottom of my chin. His thumb hovers over the cleft there, like he's questioning touching me at all. When the pad of his thumb brushes just beneath my lower lip, it's featherlight. It makes the hair on my arm stand on end and my eyes flutter shut. But he doesn't stop, doesn't hesitate. His thumb caresses over my top lip, a strangled groan catching in the back of his throat. My breathing becomes more labored, and when I catch sight of his expression on his face, I'm panting. The way he's looking at me, it's not polite, it's primal. I lean forward right into him, seeking his touch, seeking the promise in his eyes, and I make no move to distance myself from him. When his thumb makes its next swipe, it's over my bottom lip, and this time it's rougher, pressing my lip down to the side while his eyes go molten, his body held taut. There, he growls, still transfixed by my mouth. Rhett, I breathe, not sure what else to say. Okay. His eyes flick up to mine, and there's a question in their depths. I swear if I closed the distance between us, he'd make me glad I did. But his career is hanging by a thread, and I promise to help, to be a professional who can handle working with athletes. And knowing what I know of Rhett Eaton, my heart would be in shambles right along with his reputation if we were to close the distance between us. We should go to sleep. I clear my throat and sit back, pulling away. I know I made the right decision, even though my relief is laced with disappointment. The same disappointment I see flash across his face as he jolts back like I've slapped him. But it disappears quickly, replaced by a blank face and eyes that won't meet mine as he silently starts tidying the room. We almost kissed. That's the thought playing on repeat in my head as I lie here, in his bed. I'm new to a job that requires me to work with hot athletes every damn day, and after a short amount of time being out in the wild with one, I'm confused as fuck. Excellent work, Summer. The blanket feels like it's rubbing too heavily against my skin, and the heat and my heart is pounding erratically, even under the covers. I can't seem to shake the chill. I almost go up to get myself a pair of socks, but I don't want to disturb Rhett. I've been lying in the dark room for I don't know how long, listening to Rhett breathing, the hum of the heater every time it turns on, the ding of the elevator, and the dull thud of footfalls in the hallway, followed by hushed voices as other people head to their rooms. Sleep has evaded me so far, and based on the way my mind is spinning, it will continue to hover just beyond my grasp, especially since all my thoughts and feelings are blending together with an intense sense of guilt that Rhett's injured and sleeping on the floor. I was still too tongue-tied to put up a fight when he grabbed what he needed and set himself up on the carpet. A sigh that borders on a groan filters from where he's sleeping. "Are you awake?" I whisper. "Yeah," he grumbles, shifting around. "Are you sore?" "No." I roll my lips together and stare at the fire alarm above me, the tiny green dot a point to fix my gaze on. "Are you lying?" He grunts in response, which I'm almost certain means he's lying. "Rhett? Summer?" He sounds exasperated with me. "Stop being difficult and come sleep in the bed." Silence fills the room, and I wonder if he heard me at all. "I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable," he rasped. "I already am. Uncomfortably, but I don't say that." "You won't. What's making me uncomfortable is that you're sleeping on a dirty floor with an injured shoulder or back. Get your ass up here." He blows out a deep breath in response, and I hear the rustling of blankets as his form takes shape across the room. When he comes to sit on the bed, the mattress dips beneath him, and he scrubs at his face. The sound of his stubble rasping against his hands is more pronounced in the dark. "You sure?" His shoulder must be sore for him to have given in so easily. "Eaton, stop being such a pussy and get in here," I thought. "I thought you were good at hopping in and out of women's beds." I lift the blanket and scoot over to my side to make extra room for him. He chuckles as he moves under the covers and drops his head onto the pillow he brought with him. "Most women aren't as terrifying as you." "Yeah, right." I tuck the covers tight around myself as though they'll protect me from the scent of licorice and leather that envelops me. as if I won't feel the heat of his body sidled up close to mine and let my mind wander. He lies flat on his back, hands clasped over his chiseled abs, because, of fucking course, he's not wearing a shirt. When his elbow bumps me, I try not to start. I mean, you told me you were going to kill me in my sleep. I have some sense of self-preservation, you know. You ride angry bulls for a living. I'm really not too sure about that. He huffs out a small laugh and we fall into an uncomfortable silence. So, like the awkward mess I am, I blurt out, "Where's your mom?" There's an awful lot of testosterone out at that ranch. Total sausage fest. She's gone. His voice gentles. Yeah, mine too. His head turns in my direction. Really? I thought you had an older sister. I know I've heard Kip talk about his wife. My face scrunches. Yeah, funny story that. I could use a laugh. The nanny is my mom. Rhett's body goes rigid beside me and I laugh. This story always horrifies people. Come again? I clear my throat and reach up to push my hair off my forehead. Kip was getting busy with the nanny and ta-da, along came me. Shit, I wish there were lights so I could see his face right now. Yeah, pretty much. My mother was traveling from abroad when she worked at our house. She basically had me, signed me over to my dad, and went back home. I don't even think I blame her. I'm not sure I'd want to be tied to the aftermath of that. That's really fucked up. I laugh and know he's looking at me like he can't quite decide how to tread into this. Most people don't. When did you find out? My eyebrows rise. This is usually when people promptly change the subject and run like hell toward another topic. I think I've always known in some regard. My stepmom made sure that was the case. She stuck around? She sure did. Huh. Yeah, I don't get it either, particularly since she's always gone out of her way to make things strained between us. Between my sister and me. Between her and my dad. I almost feel bad for her. I know she shouldn't have cheated on her. I know he shouldn't have cheated on her, obviously, but it's like she stuck around just to make everyone else miserable. I wish she could be happy. What does she do? I know he's thinking she stuck with Kip for the money. She's a surgeon, just like my sister, or just like my sister will be. Wild. He sounds genuinely shocked. And you and your sister? Complicated. Really, really fucking complicated. She's pretty much the polar opposite from me. Looks, personality, shit, her name is even Winter. I think in my dad's misplaced desire to have us be one big happy family, he tried to stick with the trend of seasonal names, and instead we're just being pitted against each other. Even in moments that we weren't aware of. Silent stretches between us. I'm sorry you grew up with that, he murmurs. Yeah, well, we adapt. I prefer the vibe at your ranch. Have you ever tried to find your mom? I suck in a sharp breath. No, if she ever wanted to know me, she could easily find me, but she never has, and I don't want to be a burden to someone I don't even know. He's silent at that, so after a few drawn-out moments, I ask, what happened with your mom? She died giving birth to my little sister. I don't hesitate as I inch closer, pressing my arm against his, hoping to provide some sort of gentle comfort to him, now that we've traveled down this path. Straight into heavy conversation, sharing secrets in the dark. I'm sorry, Rhett. I was not quite two, so I don't remember her. Actually, I think that's the worst part. I missed out on this whole facet of life. I'll never get to experience having a mom, and my dad never moved on. Nodding, I say, I can relate to that, but you know, at least your mom wanted you. I sound terribly tragic saying that, but I blurt it out before I can think better of it. My dad has spent his entire life proving to me he loves me, and I think a lot of that is to make up for the clusterfuck that is everyone else around me. Kip pisses me off sometimes, I snort, because Kip Hamilton does have a knack for pissing people off. But I can see him being a good dad, a funny one, a protective one, obviously. Can we not tell him about this bed-sharing thing? We both laugh, thinking of his threats, the rules he's set out for us. Yeah, it took me a while to reconcile, you know. My hands flap in front of me. The circumstances of my birth, that my dad can be flawed but good man, all at once. When I was sick, he stayed with me every day. He literally worked from my hospital room and slept in the chair in the corner until some nurse took pity on him and snuck him a cot. My voice breaks. This always gets me. That kind of love, well, it's scarce. Someone who doesn't leave your side no matter what. Unlike my mother or stepmother. This time, Rhett reaches down and tentatively threads his fingers through mine. giving my hand a gentle squeeze. His calluses rasp against my skin just like I knew they would, and against my better judgment, I don't pull away. "I didn't know," is all he says, and somehow that simple sentence and the feel of his warm hand brings me comfort. Yeah, lots of health issues growing up. Turned out to be an undiagnosed congenital heart defect. Fixable with surgery, except surgery went wrong, and there were complications, big scary ones. Plus a nice lingering infection. Kind of killed my teenage years, just really had to go all out on making myself an extra burden and all that. He squeezes my hand. I doubt he sees it that way. I smile into the dark because I know my dad doesn't see me that way. Not at all. And it's nice to hear someone else notice that too. Notice that I have just as much right to that connection, that I don't need to feel guilty about loving my dad, no matter how complicated he might be. So I squeeze Rhett's hand back and turn toward him, feet crossing over to his side of the bed, seeking warmth. "Jesus, Summer," he startles but doesn't move away. "Your feet are freezing." I pull them back instantly, grateful that he can't see me blushing in the dark. "Sorry." I went sorrier than I took the freedom of touching him like that when things are already so tenuous between us tonight. "The only thing you should be sorry for is not telling me you were an ice cube. I should have knocked on your door earlier," he grumps, right as his long legs stretch across the bed and tangles them with mine, capturing my frozen feet between his calves. "Okay." My voice comes out heavily as the warmth from his body seeps into mine, heating me from the outside in, and we fall quiet together. I hear the even rhythm of his breaths and feel his exhale across my chest. I fall asleep like that, lulled by the gentle, steady sounds of him, by the solid comfort of him. My hand held tight in his, my feet cradled against his skin, and my heart warm wrapped up in his words. Oh. Chapter 15, Rhett. "Kip, saw the interviews. You did well. You being good to my girl?" "Rhett, thanks. I laid awake all night hoping I'd get your stamp of approval, and of course I am." "Kip, but not too good, right?" "Rhett, is that what I'm aiming for? Good but not too good? It's a wonder you raised an adult as functional as Summer." "Kip, why aren't you complaining about her?" "Rhett, because she isn't so bad." "I'm so fucked. I'm super fucked. I'm super mega fucked. Summer was also right. I'm a massive prick because I've been awake for the better part of an hour, letting her cuddle me, staring at her, trying to mesmerize every little freckle, watching her sleep like a lovesick Ted Bundy or something. I woke up when I felt her nuzzle against my bicep, and when I slowly opened my eyes, I was as close to her mouth as I had been the night before, when I'd done everything I could to not lick that hot sauce off her lips like a goddamn savage. But now she's on me. Thighs slung over my legs, just below where my morning, Summer specifically. Her small palm presses against the center of my chest while her cheeks rest against my arm. She's even still clutching my hand, something that makes an ache throb in my chest. I'm trying to be a gentleman. I really, really am. But I also haven't failed to notice how her sweatshirt has run up her midsection. The way the waistband of her silky underwear is peeking out from her sweatpants, taunting me. I want to do distinctly ungentlemanly things to Summer Hamilton, but I also want her to warm her cold feet up on me again, anytime she wants. The thought of her being cold and uncomfortable infuriates me. I want to take care of her even though she doesn't need taking care of. It's honestly really fucking confusing. It's also a terrible fucking idea. But then, good ideas haven't ever been my forte. Why start now? She stirs, and I look at her shuttered eyes again. Soft lashes drawn down, a smattering of freckles over the bridge of her nose, and the apples of her cheeks. I wonder if they show up on any other parts of her body. Okay, read that sentence. And the next one. And then snuggle her, trace her freckles. Goddamn, I scrub my face with my spare hand and berate myself for not sucking it up and sleeping on the floor. No matter how badly it hurt, it couldn't have been worse than this realization. I peel myself away from her, trying to extricate my tangled limbs and feelings. But then I silently fuck my... Yeah. Okay. You'll be pleased to hear that while I was using the restroom on the flight back, Summer ordered me a glass of milk. Summer snorts and takes another bite of the scone in her hand. From the opposite side of the breakfast table, Bo cackles over the rim of his coffee mug. Summer, will you marry me? My brother asks in jest, but my caveman brain misses the joke. Instead, it sounds like my big brother is hitting on her, and I want to scoop her up and hide her away. Because Bo is everything I'm not. Heroic, organized, dependable, clean cut. If I had to pick a type for Summer, I'd envision Bo. To prevent myself from saying something I'll regret, I scald the back of my throat with hot coffee. To her credit, Summer just rolls her eyes, which pathetically makes me feel better. You wound me, Bo dramatically grabs at his chest. You wound me, Bo dramatically grabs at his chest. Will you at least come out to the rail spur tonight? Don't you need to deploy again soon? I interrupt, trying to get rid of me, baby brother? Bo winks at me, and I momentarily wonder if he knows he's turning me into a jealous crybaby. Summer ignores our antics. In fact, she's been the picture of professionalism ever since the night we shared a bed. Not weird, or cool, or awkward, just professional. Over the past week, I've often wished she'd be a little less professional, a little more reckless. Rhett has an MRI at the hospital, she says, then acupuncture at 4. Then he has a teleconference interview, so probably not tonight. You could come without him, you know. Summer smiles at my brother as she pushes out of her chair to stand. It's a kind enough smile, but not a full one. Not the one I saw on her face when she cheered for me in the stands. It's the exact smirk that used to bug me, but now I see it in a different light. She thinks it's a polite smile. It's kind of the equivalent of a pat on the head. I could, she agrees as she turns and walks away. My eyes drop to her ass in her skin-tight workout pants. She might be short, but fuck me, the girl has curves in all the right places. Firm muscles. She reminds me of a gymnast in spandex. Let's go, Rhett. It's gym time. I groan and stand, still sore, though I have to confess this routine Summer has me on isn't terrible. I feel better every day. My biggest complaint is that I'm getting professional massages rather than ones from her. I dump the dregs of my coffee and leave the cup in the sink. Bo can fucking wash it. Put that military clean streak of his to use for flirting with my babysitter right in front of me. Have fun, he winks and hits me with a knowing smirk. Dick. I sneak my finger into my mouth and give him a big slippery wet willy on the way past, and it's surprisingly satisfying. You don't have to stay here with me, you know. I nudge Summer's shoulder with mine and peer down at the glossy cooking magazine she's flipping through. I know. That's all she says. She doesn't elaborate or even look at me. In fact, she seems almost exasperated by me. You can leave and go hang out with Bo. Even saying it out loud is pretty petty, but that jealous streak in me has fixated on the way my brother flirts with her. He's like that with everyone, but it bugs me when he does it with Summer. Her lips press together and she smirks down at the page. I know. So why are you sitting here with me? Her head tips up and her eyes move over to meet mine. Sitting side by side in the radiology waiting room doesn't leave much space between us, especially if we're going to talk without everyone else hearing every word we say. Her lips open for a moment like she's about to say something. That's the gig. She says it, but it sounds like a lie to me based on the way her lips were moving before she forced them into that line of bullshit. She blinks rapidly and then stares back down at the magazine, that fake smirk firmly in place. Plus, can't have you hitting on all the nurses here. Wouldn't be a good look. Ah, yes, because I'm an uncontrollable animal. Her head tilts and she shrugs. There is a certain reputation. Have you seen any proof of that in the past few weeks? Her lips roll together in the most alluring way, but she doesn't respond. Imagine thinking someone doesn't change or grow up at all in the course of a decade. Her eyes flit to the side. My dad, my brother, the entire WRF fan base, it's like they still see me as the 20-something world champion with no boundaries. Or in my family's case, the unruly little boy who would do anything for attention. I scuff, frustration bubbling to the surface as I continue. Here I am, a man in his 30s, and no matter what I do, people treat me like a child. Like I'm irresponsible. And worse, they treat me like I'm stupid. And my job is to grin and ignore it because why? Money? That's how people want to see me? It's exhausting. All I wanted to do was ride bulls and chase that high that made me feel something. That high that gave me control of my destiny for a full 8 seconds. Like I held the room's attention for a brief moment in time. And now I'm here bending over backwards to appease the masses because I'd become some sort of household sex symbol or mascot for entire industries. I never asked for that kind of responsibility. I'm almost out of breath when I finish my verbal rampage. Summer is staring at me, rich chocolate eyes wide and cheeks slightly pink. When I breathe out, she breathes in. The surrounding air, a silent cocoon in a busy hospital. She says it so quietly I almost miss it. I don't see you that way. My heart thuds against my ribs and my eyes drop to her lush cherry lips. Such a simple statement has never meant quite so much. Summer, a biting voice interrupts the moment, and we both fly from each other, away from each other like we've been caught doing something we shouldn't be. Summer smooths her hands down the front of her corduroy jacket. Winter, hi, what a pleasant surprise. Her current smile isn't the smug one, it's one of forced brightness. And as I look between the two women, I put together why. Haven't seen you at family dinner lately. The other woman holds similar features to Summer, and yet she couldn't be more different. Porcelain skin and pale blonde hair pulled back so tight her entire face looks equally taut. Cunning, icy eyes, just like her expression. Almost chuckle over the names. Winter all frigid and biting, Summer all warm and soft. We've been on the road. Summer hikes a thumb at me. Dad has me working with Rhett exclusively. The woman wearing the long white coat over a boxy blue dress glances over at me with a dismissive smile, and I decide to jump in, feeling protective of Summer and not loving the way her sister is talking to her. I stand, using my height to my advantage, staying close enough that Summer's knee brushes against my leg as I shove a hand in Winter's direction. Rhett Eaton, pleasure to meet you. She slips her hand into mine, and it's cold too. Her grip is firm, and her eyes flit down momentarily to her sister. A look passes between them before Winter seems almost gleeful. Dr. Winter Valentine. I'm Summer's half-sister. Summer winces at that designation, but it's what her sister says next that has her all flustered. And of course I know who you are. Summer had your Wrangler's ad plastered on her bedroom wall for years. My mind shudders over what she's just spilled. Summer clears her throat and glares at her sister, maintaining her composure beautifully, despite the red splotches popping up on her cheeks, all the way down her neck and onto her chest. Am I going to harass Summer about this later? Absolutely. I love to spar with her. It might as well be foreplay for how well she holds her own. But right now, I'm miffed. I see her older sister being intentionally cruel to her, trying to embarrass her. It makes me plaster a vicious smile on my face while still gripping Winter's palm in a handshake that has now gone on for too long. I wink at her. Sounds like you remember it quite clearly yourself, darling. Bitch. Her lips flatten and she yanks her hand from mine. Maybe next family dinner you can join us. I know that would be a dream come true for Summer. She turns her scathing gaze down at Summer and then brightly adds, well, I have patients scans to tend to. It was a pleasure seeing you both. And with that, she's gone. Some petite stature, but all harsh, slim lines, almost sprite-like. As she walks away, head held high, completely unrattled. Ugh, Ice Queen much? I breathe out before flopping back down. It's the small strangled noise coming from Summer that has me turning in her direction. She's covered her face with both hands, and I'm not entirely sure what she's doing. But I think she might be laughing based on the way her body is vibrating. Or crying, one of the two. You okay? No, she wheezes. Are you hiding because your sister is a grade A bitch? Or because I now know that I'm your teenage spank bank plotter? Stop. I'm pretty sure I hear her mumble a choked, oh my God. When she peeks out from me from between her fingers, I waggle my eyebrows, and when her only response is to groan and tip her head back against the vinyl chair back, I laugh. Can we please pretend that never happened? Her palms muffled her voice. I grin and shake my head, crossing my arms irrationally pleased with the whole thing. Not a fucking chance, princess. Chapter 16, Summer. Dad, can you come to the staff meeting this week? Summer, which day, what time? Dad, Thursday at 1. Summer, yeah, I might have to shuffle one of Rhett's appointments that will conflict with it. Dad, I'm sure he can manage an appointment on his own. Seems like you've got him on a pretty tight leash. Summer, again, he's not a dog. There's a Chinook rolling through today. You'd think the breeze would cool my cheeks, but the air is downright balmy. All the hard work I did in the waiting room to compose myself while Rhett had his scan went right down the toilet the minute he came striding back out with a knowing grin on his face. Cocky motherfucker. On our walk out the main doors of the hospital, I avoid his eyes. It's awkward, really fucking awkward, and it's such a Winter move. She's never outright mean to me. She's passive-aggressive. She's calculated. Winter plays the long game. I can just see our dad mentioning what I've been up to and her filing that information away for the perfect moment to embarrass me with it. I hate to call her conniving because there's this little part of me that truly loves her, admires her. I wish we'd been given the opportunity to forge our own type of relationship. But the evil stepmother got her fingers in there and played us both like puppets, easily making me out to be the source of all family strife. Winter never got a chance to like me, and no matter how hard I try, she doesn't seem interested. It's something that keeps me up all night. I long for a relationship with her, yearn to have one more person I can consider family, rather than just Kit. Seeing Rhett and his family together, even pestering each other the way they do, makes my chest ache. I want that one day. Did you dawdle our names with a heart around them in your binders? That's how he breaks the silence. I press my lips together into a firm line, willing myself not to smile. I don't want to give him the satisfaction of laughing at his joke, even if it's funny. No. Did you? He trails off, scrubbing at his beard. Kiss the page you ripped out of the magazine? I scuff. I didn't rip it out. I cut it out very carefully, and now I'm looking forward to throwing darts at it. He barks out a laugh and grins down at me, looking altogether too handsome and pleased with himself, which forces me to glance away and try to hide my smile. But when I do, my eyes land on the McLaren parked ahead of us in a tow-away zone with its hazards on. It's the license plate that makes me stop in my tracks. Dr. Hart. As a teenager, I thought it was witty. Now I think it's lame beyond compare. You okay? Rhett's hand lands on my lower back as he looks down at me, concern etched across his features. I'm just joking around. You should probably fire me for sexual harassment. I shake my head. No, just my ex. I nod toward the vehicle parked about 10 car lengths ahead of us. His eyes follow mine and then roll when they catch sight of the expensive sports car. Of course it is. I just swallow in response. Do we like this ex? His fingers pulse on my lower back and I lean into him, not forgetting the way he stepped up to protect me when Winter's claws came out. It's complicated, I breathe. Complicated how? Rhett's voice takes on an edge that has me looking up at him and away from Rob's illegally parked car. Complicated like we're very, very over. He's moved on, but every time he catches wind of me doing the same, he crops back up in some capacity. Like, apparently he saw a clip on TV of me giving you thumbs up in Pine Lake, and that was enough for him to start sniffing around. Rhett's head drops down closer, erasing whatever little respectable space there was left between us. His eyes are trained on mine, staring at me in that way he always does, with unmatched intensity. That event wasn't televised, which means he's going out of his way to figure out what you're doing and probably searching the events on YouTube for footage. That night, when Rob told me he'd seen my gesture, I didn't even question it. I know which events are televised. Kip had been very exacting about that, so there's no way Rob just happened upon the footage. But Rhett is right, and I can't believe I didn't catch the lie. Shit, that's creepy. I blink up at Rhett, whose opposite hand cups my elbow now, turning me in toward him. Maybe we should give him something to creep on. Do you think he's in that car? The rugged man in front of me smirks in a way that has my entire body humming. Rather than kissing your magazine pages, you could try out the real thing. You're an idiot, I mumble, but I also don't move away. Would I do this? My heart races so hard that it drowns out the sound around me. All I hear is that dull, rushing sound of my pulse in my ears. What if someone sees? What if this gets out? Rhett's thigh presses against mine while the hand of my lower back slides down to the waistline of my jeans. His fingers tightening in a way that has the spot just behind my hip bone aching. He moves in close, his scent surrounding me. His wild hair fans around us. The air between us hums, and I stare at his mouth, wondering what the roughness of his beard might feel like on my lips. I've never kissed a man like Rhett. You know, Princess, he rasped, and I should hate that goddamn nickname, born of mocking me for being who I am, but suddenly it feels like a shot straight to my core, like praise, like a worship. I'm finding I don't really care about what people think where you're concerned. That comment strikes me speechless, and I momentarily let myself imagine a world in which I didn't care what people thought, where I didn't constantly work to keep everyone around me appeased, where there wasn't this ever-present need to make up for being born a burden. What might that kind of freedom feel like? To do something I want without worrying about every possible fallout. And something about Rhett's impulsive ways and rugged good looks makes me want to embrace it for one wild moment. I deserve a moment like that. I swallow hard and nod once, getting lost in his glowing amber eyes. The hand on my elbow slides up, sending goosebumps out over my skin. The cool metal of his ring on my skin, as that same hand glides over my shoulder, traces my collarbone and slides up my throat. And I'm on fire. For all the times I imagine his hands on me, I never imagined my body reacting like this. It's when his lips came down only a hair's breadth apart and his knuckles grazed my cheekbone that I noticed the driver's side of Rob's car shoot open from the corner of my eye. And it's then that I murmur, okay, but this means nothing. In response, Rhett growls and dusts his lips across mine. Tingles shoot out like electricity, like every bristled point that touches me sends a spark dancing, twirling across my skin, singeing every nerve ending. His hands are possessive on my body, pulling me tight against him almost aggressively, while cradling my skull so delicately and kissing me so carefully. He lights me up, he burns me down, and I bask in his heat. The buzz of the hospital around us fades away when his lips come back and press down more firmly this time. The people, the sirens, Rob's presence, it all blows away like dust on a dirt road as I kiss Rhett back. I really shouldn't be kissing this man, this client. I definitely should not be kissing him back, but sometimes being responsible is exhausting, especially in the face of someone as irresistible as Rhett Eaton. It's me who pushes my tongue into his mouth. It's me who steps even closer, feeling his hand slide down to my ass as he crushes me against his steely. It's me who... The knowledge that I do that to him makes me wild. It seems unlikely. We seem unlikely. And yet, I've been an idiot to deny there's a connection here. The bickering, the jokes, the goddamn teenage crush. His thumb trails down the column of my throat as he wields it so well. He makes me weak in the knees. Suddenly, I want him closer. I want more. And as I squeeze my thighs together and feel my core clench, I realize my body wants that too. Which is a problem, because I still need to spend several weeks with this man, alone with this man, which means this needs to stop. I pull back, panting. My hands are clenched, fisting the front of his shirt, and our hips still line up in a way that is entirely inappropriate for the main entrance of the hospital. Rhett is breathless too, back to staring at me. His eyes flit past me, and I follow them, not wanting him to look away yet. We glance over in time just to see Rob's coiffed head of golden hair slip into his fast car. The sound of his door slamming makes me jump, and then I'm staring back up at Rhett, whose jaw is clenched hard enough that it looks like the bone is trying to escape through his skin. Well, I think that worked. My voice sounds breathy and soft as I step away from Rhett's rock-hard body, the breeze whooshing in between us, though it's carrying away all the feelings that came fluttering up when we kissed. I wish it could carry away my confusion. We walk again, and I'm just trying to stay upright after the mind-blowing kiss of my life. Fake kiss. I wonder if we're going to talk about it, but Rhett just adjusts himself in his jeans and tries to steer the conversation back into safer territory, mocking me. Did you plan our wedding while you were cooped up in the hospital? What about our wedding night? I'd love to hear about that. I glanced down at his with a smirk, secretly getting off on saying the bet you would. His pinky finger wraps around mine tenderly before he moves his hand to the small of my back, guiding me safely across the road and making my chest flutter. He's joking, but I did imagine a wedding night with him a long time ago. I haven't in years, but I might be tonight. Aw. Tell me about him, Rhett says from the passenger seat while I focus too hard on an empty road. What? I eye him suspiciously now, pretending I don't know what he's talking about. Dr. Douche. I strangle a laugh in my throat as my tongue darts out over my lips and my knuckles turn white on the steering wheel. He's not a douche. Get real. I saw his personalized license plate. His secret is officially out. I smile now. Okay, that is bad. Bad? It's worse than bad. I bet he loves milk-based drinks too. I huff out a laugh and shake my head. When did you break up? I don't know if you could call it a breakup. We weren't together in the way you might be thinking. My top teeth grazed my bottom lip as I turned things over in my mind. I've only ever told Willa about this, and it's scary to open up about it with Rhett. I don't know. I've told no one except my best friends about this. You mean Kip never met him? The curiosity on his face is blatant. Well, no, he's met him. Summer, this isn't a Christopher Nolan film. I don't deserve to be this confused after giving you the best kiss of your... He was my doctor, I blurt out. Rhett goes still, all the jokes sliding away, probably crushed by the wheels beneath us. Like your family doctor? No, he's a cardiothoracic surgeon. He's performed the corrective heart procedures I had done as a teenager. His head flops back on the rest behind him. Jesus Christ. So, did you just say teenager? Nothing happened until I was legal. Whatever we did mostly consisted of sneaking around. I add quickly, glancing over at him, because I can tell what he's thinking. Summer. He groans and throws a hand over my face. That doesn't make it any better. I know, I reply quickly. Someone should report him. Doctors can't go around dating their teenage patients. His tone is biting. My eyes go wide. I don't want to make this a thing. I want to leave it all in the past where it belongs. I don't hate Rob. I just want to move on from him. Please, please don't say anything. I shouldn't have said anything to you. I was just explaining myself, I guess. Rhett sighs raggedly. You don't owe me an explanation. It's him who should be explaining himself. He gazes out the window, shaking his head from muttering. Saw you on TV. My ass. I glance over again, almost nervously this time. My hands twist on the steering wheel. I don't know. People pleaser, I guess. Things with Rob and I were complicated. I guess they still are. It's like, logically, I know that our relationship was fucked up, but he saved my life. Before him, I was very sick, and he fixed me. And it's impossible to reconcile those two things. Brett grunts. I bet to him a lot of my family relationships seem awfully complicated. You deserve so much better, Summer. It's like you're so busy forcing yourself to smile and be happy all the time that you don't even realize when you're entitled to be pissed off. His statement strikes me silent while I desperately search for something adequate to reply with. Thank you for standing up for me today. To my sister, and I remove one hand from the wheel and wave it around almost erratically. Kiss? He supplies. Yeah, that. I'm so glad we can get back to a professional working relationship after that. Rhett quirks a brow in my direction, watching me lick my lips and swallow while avoiding his gaze. And thank you for keeping my secret about Rob. Rhett's only reply is to grind his teeth. Okay, wow. Okay, does it have to get good? I guess it does. So we left off on chapter 17, Rhett. Wow. What do you guys think of that? Like, how young was she when, she was with that doctor? How young is my question. And I guess maybe we will find out or won't find out. I'm not sure. But thank you guys for being here, and we will continue again tomorrow. Bye.